Some breaking news. Now, the fact is, this story's been developing all morning long. It started with a report from Diana Rossini with The Athletic, and then the principals themselves have now responded, and in short, all hell is breaking loose with the Cowboys. So let me start first with Jera. Jera, you sandbagging some bitch. You a wildcatter. Man, you really did it this time, Jera. You really did it this time. You just couldn't listen to absolutely everybody in the world. As always, you had to be the smartest dude in the room, even though you aren't. Not when it comes to contract negotiations with your star players. Once again, everybody's been telling you over and over and over and over again that you got this all wrong. And you've been telling all of us over and over and over again, you know exactly what you're doing. It's none of our business. Yeah, well, this time you really bleeped up. You were effing around with Micah Parsons for way too long, and now you're the one who found out. Not us. You're the one who found out. And you find out in the form of an official trade request, which, according to Micah himself, was sent directly to Stephen Jones, earlier today. Now, if you missed that detail, it might be because you didn't get to the end of Micah's 3-page note, which he threw up on the X today. It's a long note. I'm assuming that most people did not read all of it or get to the end of it, but it ends like this, and I quote, "I have made a tough decision. I no longer want to play for the Dallas Cowboys. My trade request has been submitted to Stephen Jones personally." End of quote. Say it with me now, Jera. Oh! Man, this has got to be the dumbest fumble ever. The dumbest fumble ever. You know, maybe he makes it right. Maybe Jera gets out of contract in a pen and they reconcile this. But how did it even get this far? How did they let it get this personal, this jacked up, this messed up? Micah even reiterated yet again today in this note, he wanted the deal done last year. All he ever wanted was to secure his future as a Dallas Cowboy. Here was the really devastating line for Jera and the Cowboys in Micah's note. Quote, "My agent informed me I should wait for other deals to get done because the price would only go up, but I didn't care and wanted to secure myself as a Cowboy long term." Isn't that amazing? The agent doing his job. The agent saying, hey man, just hold out. Hold out. Let the market play itself out. We're going to get paid even more. And Micah's saying, you know what? I'm willing to leave some money on the table. I don't need to be at the high end or the highest end. I want to be a Cowboy more than anything else. I want to be a Cowboy. What he's saying is, I want to be a Cowboy more than I want to be the highest paid player in the game. I'll take less. This is where I want to be. I'm willing to do it right now. And the Cowboys, on the other hand, nope. Just want to play the games that they always play instead of locking this guy up when they could have had him long-term and they could have had him at a cheaper price. Nope. We'll do what we always do. Just play games. And those games included, somehow, personal negotiations with Micah without his agent present. That apparently is another sticking point, a huge sticking point in all of this. Apparently, Jera went around the agent and tried to talk to Micah directly, tried to negotiate with Micah directly earlier this offseason, and somehow came away from the meeting thinking, okay, we have an agreement. We have a deal. We have a verbal agreement, some sort of loose verbal agreement. And then Jera, according to reports, decided we have ourselves a deal.
Done.
That's the deal. It's done. Never mind that he didn't bring Micah's agent into it. Remember, he said he didn't even know who Micah's agent was. He just thought that he could deal with the player directly and get a verbal agreement. and that verbal agreement would be binding. Nothing scummy about that, Jera. Jera's like, hey, man, a man is only as good as his word. We shook on it. No takebacks.
You think
I mean, what a freaking bleep show. What a classic cowboy clown show. The most valuable franchise in the world, yet it's operating like some poorly run landscaping company. Is Jera gonna try to pay Micah cash under the table so he can avoid paying payroll taxes too? Is that the big holdup here? A verbal agreement because the owner went directly to the player. Are you kidding me about that, Jera? Man, that's not how this works. You of all people know that's not how this works. Man, that is so scummy. Micah Parsons said it. Yes, we went back and forth, but at no point did I believe that this was supposed to be a formal negotiation. And I informed Mr. Jones afterward that my agent would reach out thinking this would get things done. He just said it right there in the statement. I informed Mr. Jones afterwards that my agent would reach out thinking that we would get this done. Now, I want to say, Micah, you're not without blame. You don't sit down with the owner and talk contract and talk directly about the contract or loosely about the contract or terms about the contract. You know that. Or if you don't know that, you should know that. Like, Micah, this is the whole point of an agent, right? Keep the main thing the main thing. Worry about your mind, worry about your body, worry about your ball, worry about your preparation. Let the agent handle that. That's not your deal. Especially when dealing with somebody like Jerry Jones. But then Jerry knows that too. You don't do deals directly with players ever. Unless the player, for instance, is Lamar and he wanted to do his own deal. That's a player who represented himself. But you can't go around the agent. Jerry knows this, all right? I have an attorney, for instance. I've had one attorney my entire life. Anytime I've ever tried to not include him on anything, respectfully to my guy Dave Feldman, he loses his bleeping mind. All agents do. They're extremely territorial. So we're to believe that Jerry Jones thought that he could just negotiate a deal, and not just a deal, but one of the biggest deals in the history of the NFL. The biggest non-quarterback deal in the NFL. Jerry just thought that he could just sit down, be scummy, go around the agent, negotiate that loosely with Micah, and that would be binding and that they would, quote, have a deal. Come on, Jerry. That is scumbaggery. And Micah, what were you doing, frankly? Sitting down with the owner directly. Let your agent handle it. I don't know. Micah, Jared probably charmed Micah into, hey, Micah, come on by. Let's talk about a deal. And so Micah's talking about, I bet Jared even said to him, hey, Micah, what's important to you? What's important to you? And Micah probably thought, okay, I got that kind of relationship. The owner likes me. I like the owner. Hey, Mr. Jones, here's what's important to me. Okay, I hear you. All right, so I'm going to have my agent follow up and finish this up. And Jerry's like, you do that. And then they come out of this meeting and Jerry thinks he's got a deal. And Micah thinks we don't really have a deal. And this is where we are right now? Man.
Stuck your finger in the wrong hole.
You did stick your finger in the wrong hole. Anyway, so Micah, bottom line, what are you doing negotiating with this snake oil man directly without your agent? I mean, I know you're smarter than that. And then nothing is dumber than the Cowboys refusing to deal with the agent directly or thinking they could go around his back. Yeah, because Micah was going to sign one of the biggest contracts ever without having his agent look it over. That's almost as insulting as Jared thinking that his verbal agreement with Micah was somehow binding and therefore there are no more negotiations. We already did it. What a bunch of shady, unprofessional, bizarre nonsense. Like, I can't even imagine the agent finding out that Micah and Jera were negotiating directly and came to some kind of verbal agreement. That agent must have been like hell you did. Over my dead body you did. And Jera, thinking that he had to deal with Micah without the agent around, insisting that we got this deal done without the agent's involvement. Man, that is so scummy. Even on the Jera scale. That is so scummy. So that's where we're at right now. Micah going in there, Jera thinking they have a deal, and now Micah saying, you know what, man, I want out. This does not work. I need a trade. Get me out of here. Now I'm done. I'm tired of taking all these arrows for this team. I wanted to be here. I could have got it done earlier. I would have gotten it done earlier. I didn't need all the money. So now, please, I would like a trade. Way to go, Jera. Handle that brilliantly. Way to handle that. 1-800-636-8686. Man, scummy. What a circus. What an absolute circus. Hey, Jera, how's your plan working out now? And one more thing about Micah. One more thing about Micah and his money, because I'm not sure people fully understand the financial situation. Micah has only made 17 million for his 4 seasons. Not 17 million last year, 17 mil for his career. Sure, good money for you, for me, for any other normal player, but not for a guy who's arguably the best in the game. Let's be real. 4.25 mil per for the last 4 years of Micah's deal has been an outrageous deal for the Cowboys. 4.25 mil per for a dude who was the Defensive Rookie of the Year, made the Pro Bowl in all 4 of those years, was an All-Pro in 3 of those years, and a first-team All-Pro twice. Yes, he would like to be paid. Yes, he deserves to be paid. No, he's never been properly compensated, but even he didn't complain about that. He didn't complain about that. He just said, look, I've clearly outperformed my contract. I know it's the rookie deal. You've taken advantage of that. Look at the market. Look at what other guys who do or can't do what I do are looking to get paid and are getting paid. And we weren't even looking to set the market. But we're not playing for 4.25 mil when guys doing what I'm doing are making 30, 35, and 40. Oh, one note to Steva. Remember when Steva said, hey, we want to do this contract, but Micah has to want to get paid too. Hey, Steva, does it seem like Micah wants to get paid now? You said, well, he's got to want to get paid too. Yeah, I think we're there. Hey, Jera, remember when you said you could sign him and he could get hit by a car and not end up playing anyway? Yeah, that, or he could also request a trade and hold out and not end up playing anyway. Then there's that too, right? And to me, after this whole rant, the most annoying part of this is likely he's going to get paid, right? We know the Cowboys have no interest in trading him. Let's be very clear about that. He may have asked for a trade. That doesn't mean they're going to trade him. In fact, they've got no interest in trading him. Now it's just a bullcrap unit measuring game, right? Now it's just a matter of ego. Now it's a matter of pride. Now it's a matter of who blinks first. Now it's a matter of who gives in. Why did it have to come to this? And bottom line, Jerry, if you think this is awesome, this is cool, we're in the news, this is content, this is drama, this sells, I would turn this thing around on you, old man, and say, how are you going to do your best players like this? How are you going to treat your people like this? How are you going to treat a guy that's pretty much, aside from making an off comment or two during his podcast, but is about the right stuff, getting the work in, being an incredible player, being a great Cowboy, wanting to take less money and sign earlier? How are you going to do that guy like that? And if you're going to do that guy like that, why would anybody else think they've got any shot with you when you're treating your best guy and best player like that? That's not a win, Jera. And how do you convince anybody at all that winning is the main thing? Or that even that you're trying to win? What a bleep show. What an absolute bleep show. But, scoreboard radio / streaming man ripped your open again. Got the A block again.
How about them Cowboys?
How about that A block? It belongs to me, Rome. And even if you do come around, and you will, and sign this guy, it doesn't mean that you were right. All you did was alienate this guy, piss him off, cost you more money, get to a point where he demanded a trade. And for what? For what? It didn't have to go like this. Oh, one more thing, Steva. But you guys don't drag out contracts. He took great offense to that earlier this week. No, that's not fair. That's not true. Really? Then why is your best player asking for a trade? Because you dragged out the bleeping contract. Not even communicating with the agent. If you're not communicating with the agent and the player's here demanding a trade, you are dragging out the negotiation. By definition. We having fun yet? I know Mike is not. I am kinda. I know Micah's dad's not. He was online telling people to hop a bleep. That's what it's come to. Star players' parents hopping online and telling people to hop a bleep. What a world. He said, actually, Micah's pop was online saying before Micah got loose with that multi-page note, quote, LMFAO. If only you actually knew why this was said, and exactly I'm speaking for me, not Micah, LMFAO, and I'm saying what type of person Micah is, LMFAO, hop of bleep. You don't know bleep. Wow. If y'all didn't hear from Micah Mouth, I wouldn't believe it. Well, we have all heard it from Micah Mouth. LMFAO. That's got to be a record for LMFAOs in one post. Well, Micah Pop,
Not two, not three.
we've all heard
not
it from
four.
Micah Mouth. So now it official. Hey, Cowboy fan, I need your thoughts on this, honestly.